What's up, Eagles Nation? This is Bry with Eagles Real Talk. Thank you for joining me today. We got a lot of questions to go through, a lot of topics. So if you're just now joining me, please like this video and, share it to all your Eagles friends. Throw it in the group chat. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be posting a lot of videos this season, even more than last year. So we're on our way to 2K subscribers. We're about maybe, I think, 35 away from 2K. And we also crossed over the 1 million views mark for Eagles Real Talk. And we did it in about a year, a couple days past, the year anniversary of the channel. So, salute to y'all for checking me out and rocking with ERT. But like I said, we're just going to keep on going up. So with that said, let's get straight into the poll questions of the week. Okay, so we have the first question of the week. Will the Eagles center, Jason Kelsey, keep his game streak going to 123? I think he will. I personally think he will. We're talking about Jason Kelsey, okay? He's an Iron Man, all right? He represents everything that it takes to be a Philadelphia Eagle for life. He's had his ups, he's had his downs, but through all of that, he's been tough as nails. And I think he's gonna tough it out. I think he's gonna personally tough it out, whether whether that elbow is feeling, 100%, 90%, 80%, 70%. I think he's going to suit up game one against the Detroit Lions, and, we're going to put a hurting on the Lions. You already know. What's going to happen to them. So, yes, I believe so. But 3,000 of you guys voted, and it looks like 63% said yes, he will play. 11% said no, he won't. And then I also threw in, is it going to be close? And 26% of you think it's going to be close, which it could be. But as of now, the timetable on that injury and that surgery post-op is like 2 to 4 weeks. But we looked it up. It could go all the way to 8 weeks. So that's the longest. That's if, he's experiencing some discomfort still. They may push it. But like I said, we're talking about Jason Kelsey. He's an Iron Man, and I believe he's definitely going to get suited up for game one. So let's get straight into, should the Eagles trade for a big body, bruising running back? I think a lot of people have been asking this question. A lot of people are concerned about our running back room. We've already had some injuries. Boston Scott with a concussion. Kenny G, I believe he has a hamstring. So, the little injuries are piling up for our running back room. Miles Sanders is still looking fresh. From everything that I've seen from clips from training camp, he's running hard. He really wants to, prove everybody and get his respect, his RESPECT, okay? He really wants that respect this year, so I think he's going to go out and get it. I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm an optimistic Eagles fan. I'm not a pessimist. Sometimes I can be, but most of the time I'm an optimist. And I think he may have a fairly healthy season. Let me know in the comments if you think he's going to be healthy this year. I think he is, He's obviously had a rough couple years, obviously. But with that said, I think he still has the goods. I think he's still going to go out there and give it his all. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for Miles Sanders this year. Booby is going to run. He's going to run hard. He's running behind the best offensive line in the game, okay? It's the best offensive line. And that's without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. I may be a homer. I may be too connected to the team. But as far as I'm concerned, we have the best offensive line in the NFL, in the world. We got Lane Johnson, the best right tackle. We got the best center in the league, Jason Kelsey, the Iron Man. You know what I mean? We got Jordan Mailata, who's really rising up the ranks. He may be the best left tackle, if not top 3, top 5 at worst. So that right there, and then we got Landon Dickerson. It's year 2, and I think he was pretty impressive year one. I don't know about you guys. You can let me know, but I was pretty impressed with Jordan Mailata's first year. And we got Isaac coming back as well. So I think this offensive line is going to be hitting on all cylinders. And Miles Sanders and the rest of the running backs are going to run rampant. But the question is, will we trade for a running back? Or will we pick one up in free agency? We had 7,000 of you voted on this. And 44% said yes, we are going to make a trade. Okay. 32% said no. That means, you guys are cool with our running back room as it stands, which I am as well. I think we have a diverse crew. I like the running backs personally. And then 24% of you said wait to sign a running back who gets cut. Now I think this would be the smart approach. If I'm thinking like Howie, what's up, Zay? If I'm thinking like Howie, I'm thinking, okay, someone's going to get cut. You know what I mean? Someone's not going to make their roster. It's going to be a tough decision, whether it's money related or whether maybe they just are not fitting their scheme on their particular offense. So maybe they get released. And that's when Howie's going to come in, fly. He's flying like an eagle, looking down at all these rosters. All the depth charts, he's keeping an eye on it, and I think he's going to go out there and find a running back, a big body running back, because obviously we've had success. We can go back to our Super Bowl season. LeGarrette Blount, I think he's the forgotten man. I think people forget how hard he ran that year. Do you remember that run against the Chargers? Let me know in the comments if you remember that run. He was just a big body. And, he just was a great compliment that season. And even last year, Jordan Howard, great compliment to the roster. So I think these guys are going to, they're going to end up eventually on the team. I think Jordan Howard is even maybe a maybe at this point. He may get signed. I don't know how his health is. I'm not keeping too much of an eye on Jordan Howard at this point because I would rather go out and get another running back because Jordan Howard's been unhealthy for a lot of these games. And even if he does play, he's usually playing with a stinger or something. He's always hurt, unfortunately, because I like Jordan Howard. He's one of my favorite players to watch as far as watching the Birds. He runs hard. He's a powerful guy. I really like Jordan Howard, but I don't know about bringing him back this year. Okay, so let's get into the third question. Which Eagles player impressed you the most from open practice at the link? Okay, we have four options: Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Jordan Davis, and Dallas Goedert. I think honestly Jalen Hurts got this one for me. I think he came, he heard the whispers that, he wasn't throwing the ball necessarily too accurately or, he wasn't, throwing enough. But I think he went out there. He threw a nice dime to AJ for a TD. I thought that looked really. I thought I was impressed. It looked like a clean throw. It looks like yet again their rapport, their chemistry is going to continue from the offseason where they were throwing together all summer. It's going to go to the preseason tomorrow. If you didn't know, we play tomorrow, our first preseason game. I think they're going to do great tomorrow. I can't wait to see that, at least for one series. We'll talk about the preseason later, the opener tomorrow in preseason. But I think those guys really impressed me, those two guys in particular. And Jordan Davis, okay? We all seen the video of Jordan Davis pushing back Cam Jurgens, you know what I mean? So we all know what to expect from this guy. He's a monster, He's a giant out there. And I think he's going to be pushing around a lot of centers all season. But you guys voted 4.7K votes. So almost 5,000 of you voted. Jalen Hurts was the most impressive at the open practice at the link, 44%. A.J. Brown, 26%. Jordan Davis, 25%. And Dallas Goedert, 4%. Okay, let's read in the comments. Okay. Jalen Hurts is a big body back. That, Eric, I think that's actually true. I have to think about that as well. He is a runner. And, yeah, he's not a running back. Obviously, we all know he's a quarterback. But he almost ran for 1,000 yards last year. He ran for 10 touchdowns. So he's like another running back on the field. But he's very, he can do it all. He can throw, pass, whatever. So That right there, I can't wait to see that again. I don't know about you, but last year, a lot of people were talking about, oh, he can't throw the ball, but that boy can run. All right, that boy can run. Jalen Hurts can run. Zay edits in the comments. Hurts the Brown looks crazy clean. Fire emoji. And yes, that blunt run versus the Chargers was crazy. Yeah, Zay, man. That I don't know. Whenever I think back of that season, that was a defining moment for our team. I really do. I really believe that was one of the defining moments, along with that Jake Elliott long field goal, 61 yards, I believe. I mean, we had a lot of great moments that year, but I believe that run really catapulted us to the next level. I think that put fear into defenses' minds, seeing, big LeGarrette Blount back there. And, I always think back at that moment. But moving on, Zay also put Hurts impressed me the most. I think so too. I would have to agree with 44% of the fans vote on that one. Okay, next question. Let's keep it moving. Who will the Eagles sweep this season in the NFC East? I think this is the top question right now. It almost 10,000 votes. So I think we can get a good idea of what us as Eagles fans, Eagles Nation think. And Giants were the team that you guys picked to sweep the NFC East, the team you guys picked. I would have to agree with you. I think the Giants, I paused the game, but, they're playing the New England Patriots right now in their first preseason game. And, Daniel Dimes, he just don't do it for me. I'm never impressed by this guy. I always get a good laugh when I think of that long run he had against us where he was ahead of the pack. Should have scored. I think it was an 80, 90-yard run, and he trips over himself like a big goofball. You know what I mean? So he doesn't scare me. And, yeah, they beat us once last year, but they're not going to beat us this year. I promise you that. I promise you. Okay? Next up, Cowboys at 12%. Okay, so a lot of you guys are a little worried about the Cowboys. The Cowboys concern you a little bit, which rightfully so. They've had our number. Let's be honest. They've had our number over the past, few seasons. I think last year, they took it to us, especially at their house. But this year, the schedule's a little different. We get them a little earlier. You know what I mean? We get them, I think it's a perfect time to swoop in there. We'll be flying high. We may go 5-0 out the gate. And I think we can go in there and get a W. I think we're going to beat them at our house. I think it's lining up for us to actually beat the Cowboys 2 times this year. Lo and behold, injuries and stuff play a factor. We all know that. But just as of right now on paper, seeing what the Cowboys have been doing so far this offseason, they didn't really make a lot of noise. Let's be honest. What did they do? What players did they add? And no one talks about this enough. Trayvon Diggs, everyone thinks he's this great cornerback. Yeah, he's good. He's a good quarterback. He's a good cornerback. Very, very serviceable. He gets a lot of interceptions. I think he had 10 or some interceptions last year. But he also gave up the most yards. Okay, and guess who he has to guard this year? A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. Let me know in the comments if you guys are hyped up to see that matchup like I am. I cannot wait. He's going to body him all game. You know what I mean? I don't think Trayvon is ready for this matchup this year. I think Devontae is going to eat that game. And I think Dallas Goedert, being Dallas himself, he's gonna really take it to Dallas this year. And I think we're going to get a dub. I think we may beat them twice this year. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Zay said, Washington and Giants split with Cowboys. Okay. A split wouldn't be too bad either, but obviously I think we have the firepower this year to actually get, the dub on them. And then the Commanders were 23%. So obviously you guys think the Giants are the least competitive team on the in the NFC East, and I would have to agree with you. They don't really put no fear in my heart personally. I think they're trash. I think the G-men are just I don't know. I'm not impressed with their team. I think their running back is cooked. You know what I mean? I'm not impressed by the Giants, man. I'm really not. I'm not impressed by the Cowboys. I'm really not impressed by the Cowboys. I mean, you have to think about this. The Commanders Who do they have at quarterback? Don't laugh. Don't laugh like I am. They have, our former quarterback, Carson Wentz. So we all know what Carson Wentz has been doing the past couple years. So I'm not afraid of them either. Okay, next question. Which Eagles position group has you most concerned going into the season? This is actually, I think this is an important question. 47% of the vote was quarterback. So that means a lot of you guys are still worried a little bit about Jalen. He threw 16 touchdowns last year, ran for 10. So that's a combined 26. He had a few touchdowns called back. But then again, you have to remember, we had Rager as our number 2. We had Greg Ward in there. This year, we've completely revamped that room. We have A.J. Brown, a top 10 wide receiver, possibly top 5. We have Devontae Smith, year 2. Yeah, he has a groin injury right now, but I think we're just keeping him out just to make sure that he's 108% going into the year. You know what I mean? I think that's just precautionary. I think we're definitely going to start him game 1. He may even see some preseason action. Who knows? And then we also have running back at 15%. So some of you guys are a little bit worried about our running back room. I don't think it's too much of a concern as of now, but it's something to keep an eye on as far as the health goes. Because I like Boston Scott. I think he's a little guy who goes in there and he does the dirty work. He goes in there and handles his business as a number 2, number 3, number 2, 3, whatever it takes, however many snaps he gets. And Kenny Gainwell, I hope he gets healthy, but I really like what Kenny Gainwell did last year. And I think he's just going to get better this year. He's going to get more acquainted with Nick Sirianni and his play calling in the offense. And then, like I said earlier, Boobie Miles is going to be running all over everybody this year. So I can't wait for that. Safety came in at number 2 as far as your guys' concern level at 22%. So obviously we got Mike Epps. Okay, so Marcus Epps is going to go out there and do his thing. I think people sleeping on him. Like I've said in other videos, they're sleeping on him. And I think he's going to go out there and surprise you guys with quite a few interceptions. I think he's going to get 4 interceptions this year. You give him, close to 100% of the snaps. He stays healthy for the, majority of the season. I think he's going to go out there and get us 3 or 4 interceptions, okay? So I'm pretty excited about that. Rev just wrote in the comments, Gainwell's hurt. Yeah, he's a little banged up. Nothing too serious. I believe it's a hamstring. So it's not he didn't tear nothing like that. But he's dealing with, a little injury right now. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be good to go soon. So, check back. We'll be reporting on him, pretty soon. Defensive line. Obviously, defensive line last year was a disappointment. Let's just be honest. They were disappointing. They started off pretty good, but they just started to tail off as the season progressed. We're going to need more from those guys. We're going to need more from Cox and company. But this year, who did we add? We added Jordan Davis. Okay, Jordan Davis. If you've seen what he did in the video, everyone's seen it by now. He's a monster out there, and I think he's going to give us literally the push we need. Like literally, I think he's going to put that pressure on the opposing offensive line, and I think he's going to do work all season. So I'm really excited. I can't wait. I think I'm about to order that jersey. Let me know in the comments, whose jersey are you going to order this year? What new jersey do you want? What player do you want? I think I'm going to go with Jordan Davis. Linebacker, 9%. Obviously, we revamped the linebacker position completely. We got, Kaiser White. We got, Nakobe Dean. Obviously, Nakobe Dean is coming on a little slow, but he's going to get there. He's going to get there. He's a methodical guy. He's a smart guy. So he just wants some time to get acclimated to the NFL. He is a bit of a smaller linebacker, but I think he's going to use that to his advantage once the big games start. In the comments, Epps is nasty. He got that hit power. Agreed, Rev. I agree with you, my brother. Salute everyone who's in the group chat. The live chat right now. Appreciate you guys. But I think people are sleeping on Epps is a hard hitter. He's even been hitting guys hard in practice. You know what I mean? So he's just ready to go. I think he's going to be great this year. So I'm not concerned as far as the safeties go. I think we're serviceable at that position. We got basically two number ones on the outside with Big Play Slay and James Bradbury. So those two guys are going to lock up the outside, and then we got Maddox in the slot. I'm not concerned with the safeties. They just have to go out there and be serviceable, okay? We have another comment. What big body running back would we be able to get? Well, the rumor right now is Kareem Hunt could be available, and obviously that is that's like a match made in heaven for this team. But we would have to trade for him. I don't think he's going to get cut, so we would have to trade for him. But that probably won't cost that much to get him. We got a lot of picks. I think we can go out there and get Kareem Hunt. I wouldn't be mad at if we traded for him. But with that said, I still think for the most part we're gonna wait for cuts to happen and go that way. D also said, I say we trade Reagor, Dillard, and a second for Roquan Smith. That's not a bad idea, you know what I mean? Dillard, obviously, he's dealing with a concussion, but I think he's going to be back to practice, or he may be back already. But he's been dealing with a concussion, but he supposedly put on some muscle. He's in the best shape of his life, so he's an asset at this point. So hopefully he gets in there and he plays solid in preseason. But Dillard is definitely an asset for this team, and I can see him in a trade package. Howie is definitely considering that. And Reagor, we're supposedly getting calls from the Broncos and other teams about Reagor. So as the camps, as injuries pile up for these teams, they're going to start looking around the league for, players with potential. And yes, we all know Reagor has the potential to be a solid wide receiver, but he hasn't put it on the actual field yet. He's only shown this in training camp clips and going against joint practices and such. So he has to put it all together this year. But as of right now, I think we're going to keep Reagor. But we'll see. We'll see what injuries happen for other teams. Zay put, my favorite play of Epps is that one game versus Washington, and he hit the wide receiver and he got a pick. I agree with you. That was a slept-on play last year. I should have included that possibly in my top 25 plays at the end of last year. I think he's a solid ass player, man. I really do. I really like Epps. I'm excited to see Epps as the number one on this team as far as the safeties go. E-Man Gainwell, yeah, he's a little banged up. He'll be all right though. Nothing serious. So don't get worried. He'll be there. He'll be fine. D also put, we should stack the defense and let Hurts just game manage, use his legs and be a baller, and let the defense put him in a good field position. So basically, D is saying we should let Hurts be Hurts. Let him run around. Let him find guys when he can. But mostly be a game manager, kind of like Russell in his first couple years with Seattle. You know what I mean? I could definitely see him having that approach, going in there, not throwing too many interceptions, but being a player who can go out there, not make too many mistakes, run when he can, and pick up first downs, keep the chains moving downfield. So I hear what you're saying on that. Next question. Okay, which Eagles linebacker will lead the team in tackles? Now, this is a fun question because we got a bunch of new linebackers. So, we got Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, who's returning, Davion Taylor, who's essentially, gonna get his first full year, hopefully. God willing, no injuries for Davion this year. He can go out and show us that he's an incredible linebacker who can fly all over the field. But out of those guys, who is going to get the most tackles? You know what? I'm going to say it's going to be between Kaiser and TJ Edwards, like you guys wrote. Almost 4,000 votes on that. By the way, thank you for putting in your opinions, Eagles Nation. But I'm going to go with TJ Edwards. Supposedly he's been great at camp. What's up, Simple Noob Galaxy? What's up? Thank you for joining. Fly, Eagles, fly. D said Kaiser White. Eagles need to trade for a running back. DJ Dallas. Okay. Well, obviously these guys are going to be available. Teams are going to be making cuts. So I'm sure Howie is monitoring the situation very, very closely all over the league. And he's got all of his staff monitoring running backs, because that's a position partially of need. I wouldn't say like we need one, but we could add another big body to the room for sure. But out of all the linebackers, Eagles Nation, 4,000 votes. You guys voted Nakobe Dean, who's going to lead. So what you guys are saying is he's a backup right now, but eventually he's going to surpass these guys and have a really big impact, like D just wrote. Would love Nakobe Dean to have that Parsons impact. Man, would we all, man, and we got him in the 3rd round. I hope that happens. I really do. I'd be ecstatic, Eagles Nation. I really would. Takeem Hilton said Kaiser White. Zay Edits wrote Kaiser White. So a lot of you guys are excited for Kaiser. Kaiser, listen, if you pull up the stats, he should have been a Pro Bowler last year. He had an incredible season for the Chargers, and I think he's going to bring that energy to Philly, and I can't wait. Simply New wrote Dean. So a lot of you guys are excited for Dean as well. You should be. He was an incredible college linebacker on one of the historically best defenses at Georgia. So I think Nakobe Dean is going to come out there and ball out this year. I think he's taking his time, in preseason, but I feel like he's going to flash. He's going to start flashing, putting some nice things on tape. So I'm very excited. Takeem wrote White going to have 140 tackles. Let's go. Go Birds, baby. If he has 140 tackles, we're going to have a hell of a linebacking core. That unit is going to be strong. If he leads the way with 140, TJ Edwards adds 100. You know what I mean? Davion Taylor and Nakobe Dean flying all over the field, causing havoc. I'm very excited for that. We haven't had this type of linebacking crew in a long time. When is the last time we had, this stable of a linebacking unit? Let me know in the comments. Zay wrote, knowing what Titans just did trading AJ, let's go out and trade Sanders for Derrick Henry. Imagine. Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying, but they're not trading that man. We all know they're not getting rid of King Henry. That's not going to happen. But I would love. Oh my God, I would love to have Derrick Henry in Midnight Green or Kelly Green coming soon. So D wrote, Eagles could sneak into the Super Bowl. I think so too. I think he could, I think we could sneak in there, just like we did in 2017. I'm getting a lot of that good, those good vibes we had that year. You remember that season? We had the best celebrations in the league. We had a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Those guys rode for each other all year. They had a lot of fun together. And from what I've seen, Jalen Hurts is the leader of this team, and he's got everyone together. He's got everyone believing in him. That's something Wentz, people believed in him, but it was more his play. They really believe in Jalen. They believe in the man that he is, the leader that he is. And I think that's going to carry on to the defense, the coaching staff, all of us as fans. I think this is eventually everyone's going to get on board with Jalen, and we're going to ride possibly to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, not ride. Fly. We're going to fly, Eagles fly all the way to the Super Bowl. I hope so. I really do. Anthony Dwayne wrote, I don't think it's a reach. It's only one game difference. Why not? I had a video at the beginning of training camp. Why not us? 15-2. Why can't we win 15 games? Why can't we be that team that shocks the world this year and just comes out lights out? Why not us? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying on paper, from what I've seen from the team, things that I've heard, who knows, man? We've seen crazier things happen in the NFL. There's no reason why we can't go out there and have a remarkable season. Our back end is shaky as hell, if you ask me. Okay, that's your opinion. We have to see them in action. The back end has to prove that they can be stable. We just can't get beat deep. That's the one thing we can't, and we're not. You want to know why? Because Slay is going to be locking these guys down. You know what I mean? He's not going to let them get past him. If Hurts reads the deep ball and improves, I believe so. So I think he's going to I think he's going to be such a far superior deep ball passer this year. Who are you going to guard as a defense looking at us across from you? Who are you going to guard? A.J. Brown, okay. Okay, he's obviously going to demand the most attention. But then we got Dallas Goedert, top 5 tight end. I think he's going to become top 3 this year. I think he's going to have an incredible season. And then Quez. Quez is going to eat just like he said. Quez is going to eat. I think people are asleep on Quez. People are asleep on Quez. And then on the defense side, I think we're asleep on Epps. I think those 2 guys are going to have great seasons for us. Simply New, bro. I feel like we're going to go 11-6. That's an improvement from last year, and that possibly could win our division. I see the Cowboys not having the same season as they did last year with the 12. I believe they went 12 or 13, had 12 or 13 wins. I don't think they're going to do that this year. I think they're going to be 10 and below. So if we win 11 games, I feel like that'll clinch our division. Break their hearts. I can't wait. I can't wait to see them Cowboys cry like they always do. Woo, I can't wait. I bask in it. I bathe in them tears, boy. I will bathe in them every year. You want to know why? Because I know they're coming. I bathe in them, take a shower in them. You know what I mean? Wash my car in them tears. I can't wait to see them cry like they always do. Dex, welcome to the chat, Dex. Slay can't do it by himself. Our safeties need to be fearless and able to anticipate routes. I agree with you. I agree with you, my brother. They definitely have to be on their P's and Q's this year. We can't get beat deep. Simply New put 12-5. Now, that would be a great year for us. Last year we went 9-8. So if we win anything above 11 games, I think is a remarkable season. 10 games, I think that's an improvement, but I would be a little disappointed. That's just me. If we only win 10 games, I'll be a little disappointed. 11 games, I'm happy. 12 games, I'm like, let's go. 13 games, I'm like, fly, Eagles, fly, let's go. We go into the bowl. The rookie Britton Covey could be our version of Hunter Renfrow. I'm hearing great things from Britton Covey. If you seen my 53-man roster prediction last week, and this was before, I'm not trying to say I know everything, but I predicted he's going to make the roster before everyone was getting excited about him. I think he's going to be a great punt returner, kick returner. I think he's going to actually get some game action, and I think he's going to prove that, hey, he belongs in this league, even though he's a little guy. Dex wrote, Rager won't be on the roster this year. What a wasteful pick. I blame Roseman for that pick. Okay. Obviously, Roseman, I think he's took accountability. I think Howie has definitely put that on his shoulders. Obviously, we should have took, JJ, Justin Jefferson. We all know that. I had Rager in that draft on my big board, not even in my top 10. One of my best friends, Alex, who covers the NFL and follows the NFL all year long. He really follows the prospects coming in. He was pretty high on Rager, and I wasn't. And look what's happened since Rager came in the league. So he definitely has a lot to prove. He's had a lot of deaths in his personal life. He's had a lot going on. So maybe this is the year he finally breaks through. He's been taking accountability in the press. The other day he said he wasn't fully focused last year with all the stuff going on in his personal life. So maybe this is the year with less pressure. He'll be more open if he just runs routes because he's not going to garnish the first and second best cornerback on the other side. So I think he should have a solid year, if he stays on the team, which is, he's battling for a spot right now. I think Rager actually might shock us this year, just like I was saying, Zay. I think he might. He has the potential. It's not like this guy is a terrible, terrible, terrible player when it comes to his actual potential. But I think it's just mentally, mentally he has to be there. And maybe this is the year he can put it all together and actually show us that he belongs in this league. But this is definitely his last chance. This is his last chance for Rager. Simply New, bro. What is Simply New, bro? Hold on, let me scroll down. We need to start our season 32-6 again, but actually stick to it. Okay, I agree with Zay. Okay, D-Ro, I think Rager can be good. He has all the physical tools, which I agree. Hopefully, he showcases that speed and that shiftiness he had in college. Yeah, he was a little shiftier in college, but he went to TCU. That's the problem with some of these guys. That's why I trust every time we draft a player from the SEC. You know what I mean? Those big schools that are going against players that are going to go to the NFL. I think he may have been going up against a lot of guys who, after their season was over, they went and got, regular jobs. They didn't become pro athletes after college. I think he was going up against a lot of those guys at TCU. Dex Ivy wrote, "What's your opinion on J-Jaw? I believe it's time to cut our losses. He can't catch consistently, and his routes are sloppy." You said it right there. Do I even need to tell you? You nailed it, my brother. You nailed it. I don't think he makes this roster, especially as a tight end. You know what I mean? I don't even think we need him on special teams. We don't need J-Jaw. I think we should cut him and just move on. I just don't think he needs to be on this roster anymore. D also wrote, when he went to TCU, he had one of the fastest mile per hour runs that year in all of football and NFL and college. He used to be a speedster. Sometimes it doesn't translate to the NFL. That at this point, unless he shows some legit speed this year, I just don't think that's going to translate to the NFL. And sometimes you peak a little early with your speed. We've seen speedsters in college, flying all over the field, and then they get to the NFL and it's not the same. They gotta run routes. They're going up against stronger, bigger guys in the NFL. So sometimes it just doesn't translate, unfortunately. And that's what we've seen from Jalen Reagor as far as his speed goes. Simply Noob wrote, "After we lost a heartbreaker to Tom in week 6, I began giving up on the Eagles. Totally not the way." Okay, that was a tough game. You have to remember, they were a really good team. The Buccaneers are a very tough team, and obviously Tom is the GOAT. So that's always going to be a tough matchup for us, but we beat them before in the biggest game ever, Super Bowl. So we can take it to them. I see that. I see us possibly getting a rematch this year against the Buccaneers in the playoffs. How do you guys feel about that? If we were to go up against the Bucs, not seeing what we're going to do this year, we're kind of going way ahead of ourselves. But would you be intimidated going against the Bucs knowing what happened last year? Would that be, a concern for you guys that they mollywopped us last year? Let's be honest. Jalen was terrible. The defense was Jonathan Gannon was playing Slay and company 10, 15 yards back, playing softer than Cottonelle tissue. You know what I mean? So let's not even talk about that game. Let's move on. Dex Ivy wrote, I'm still lost. What is Gannon defense scheme? Is it a 4-3 or a 3-4? I think we're going to see this year. But I think Gannon is one of those guys, I think he may think he's too smart, so he's going to play a little bit of both. I just hope he doesn't have Hassan Reddick playing back in coverage this year. I really don't want to see that. Hurts has proven to get better every year of his entire football career. Obviously, going back to college, high school, and everything. I think he is too. I think Hurts will bring us a Super Bowl. That's yet to be seen. I believe he can, though. I believe it's going to be tough. I believe the NFC is a little tougher than people think this year, but I think we could sneak into, I think we could sneak into there, catch some teams off guard, possibly get back on our underdog, shit, and really take it to these guys. I really do. I really think we have the roster for it. Coaching is going to have to play a big role this year. They're going to have to step up as a coaching staff. Simply New, bro. Jalen could have done a whole lot better. The sacks hit me hard. I think he's going to do a lot of running this year. I think he's going to get rid of the ball quicker because there's going to be guys open. So I don't think I see him taking too many sacks. Next row, I'm putting major pressure on Gannon this year. We need to have a floor top 15 defense and a ceiling top 10 defense. Well, last year we were top 10, despite Gannon playing soft all year, but a lot of that has to do with our linebackers. I think obviously that was a point of emphasis this year. I think Howie Roseman and the whole front office went out there and got us guys that are very, very good as far as covering on defense, as far as the linebacking core goes. Last year we had guys, Singleton. He was chasing guys all over the field, always 2, 3, 4 steps behind. Yeah, he racked up tackles. He was top of the league in tackles. But yeah, anyone can do that when you're chasing guys and you're just getting a whole bunch of tackles after they get a first down. Anybody can do that. But now we have guys that are going to prevent these from happening. And I'm very excited to see our linebacking core this year. AKA Eagles Podcast. Thank you for joining me, my guy. Yo, what's good? Hey, I'm in here doing my thing as usual, talking to you guys, which I love to do. This is one of my most passionate things to do. If you missed the beginning of this broadcast, this live, I just crossed over 1 million views. And I'm just, it's only been a week after my 1-year anniversary of this channel. And I want to salute you guys always because, I can create the content, but you guys have to watch it and interact with me like you do. And you guys are the reason why my channel is growing. So I really appreciate you guys, Eagles Nation. We're almost to 2K subscribers. So tell your friends, tell your other Eagles homies that, hey, there's a content creator out there who keeps it real, Eagles Real Talk. So go ahead and sub them up. I appreciate y'all. Simply New put, Gamma Ray X. Oh, what's up, my guy? Man, one of my oldest friends, going back to middle school. Wow, what's up, my guy? What's up? Hey, Simply New, bro. There's no doubt we're gonna have a better season. If we don't, the NFL's rigged. You know what? I'm agree with you. The NFL may be rigged because I think we got a stacked roster. Do you guys agree with me? Is our team, just because last year and we ended the season on such a sour note, are teams and the rest of the league overlooking us? Are they underestimating us? I think they are. And I'm very excited to see what this team does this year. Dex Ivy wrote, Sanders needs to be fully healthy. 100%. 100%. He needs to be healthy. And if he can stay healthy, I think he's the ultimate X factor this season. If he is healthy, especially going into the playoffs, I think we can go on a run. What's our running back core looking like right now? Well, right now we have number 1, Miles Sanders, Booby, Number 2, we got Kenny Gainwell. And then we also have Boston Scott, the giant killer, himself. So I'm very excited to see what this running back core can do behind the best offensive line in the league. I just saw your views. Congrats, man. Thank you, Simply Noob. Congratulations to all of us, man. We all win when the Eagles are, when the Eagles channels are doing well, so let's just keep vibing and carry this on all year. I'm going to be doing a lot more lives this year. I know a lot of you guys were asking for it last year, so I'm going to keep doing this more so we can keep connecting via YouTube. I really love talking to you guys and mixing it up with you guys in the comments. So appreciate you, my guy. Simply New, bro. Your top 2 videos were ones you just uploaded. Yep. They went crazy. One video, 400,000 views. The other one's at, I think, 200,000. So it's been going crazy, and I'm just, I'm very grateful. I'm a very grateful individual right now with a lot of things going on in my life. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with ERT. Charles Dead, haven't seen you in a minute, my guy. What's up? Yeah, it's stacked. It's on Gannon and Hurts. Well, I think those are possibly the top 2 people, going into the season with, I would say, a question mark, just because we need more from Gannon. We need him to be more aggressive, and we need Hurts to be a little bit better passing the ball. Last year, he made an improvement from 52% to like 62, 63%. And this year, I think he's going to have a completion percentage closer to 70. I would say about 68 to 70%. If he's doing that, the division is ours. The NFC East division is ours, and we're going to keep it pushing all year to the other teams as well. No one wants to see us. I promise you they don't. Fully healthy, they don't. Simply Noob Galaxy wrote, I love Miles Sanders to death. Me too, man. Hashtag Booby Miles. Booby, let's go. Zay wrote, Jordan Howard was pretty good. I think we should bring him back. The question is his health, his back. You know what I mean? He just, because he runs so damn hard, he gets hurt. That's the problem with him, But he's had success in our offense before the last couple seasons, so I wouldn't mind bringing him back either, especially if no other players of his caliber as far as his physicality becomes available. Simply Noob wrote, Jalen's accuracy is getting better. He is squeezing in the balls into tougher spots way better than he used to. I think he is too. He's cleaned up his mechanics. Now he throws a tighter spiral. You know what I mean? He's got a better release on the ball. I think his footwork probably has improved as well. He worked with a lot of quarterback gurus over the summer. I believe he even worked with the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. So, I mean, he's put in the work. Usually in anything in life, not just football, when you put in the work, it usually is something that is going to benefit you long term. And I think over the course of the season, we're going to see a better Jalen Hurts, a more accurate Jalen Hurts. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. He's definitely put in the work. And he's got his best friend. He's got AJ. You know what I mean? Imagine if you had your best friend at your job, Yeah, you guys may be, you may be bullshitting too much on the side on your, during your lunch breaks and stuff. But it just is funner when you have your best friend near you. So he gets to work with his best friend, kick it with him after practice. They get to, chop it up about scheming. And, I think that's just going to benefit Jalen. And I can't wait to see him on the field connecting with his best friend, AJ Brown. D wrote, I love Sanders and I fully believe in him, but this is just a what if type of thinking. Imagine Philly trading Sanders for DeAndre Swift. He's from Philly. He's shifty, physical, and can catch it out of the backfield. I'm a big fan of Swift, to be totally honest with you. He is shifty, and he is a physical back, and he can catch the ball very well. So I don't know if we would just make a trade with them straight up, especially since we're playing them first game of the season. I don't think they're going to be one to trade us anybody of theirs, especially going into the first game. And vice versa. We would trade him to the opposition. He would tell them what we're looking to do against the Lions, and vice versa. So I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe someone of that caliber in the future. But that's something Kenny Gainwell can do. Kenny Gainwell's only in year 2. He had 4 or 5 touchdowns last year. I think he's a little shiftier than people give him credit for. D wrote, Jalen is literally a mix of Russell Wilson, which I agree, and a shorter Cam Newton / Tim Tebow type of guy. He's a baller. You know what? You kind of dead on, I'm going to be honest with you, D. You kind of dead on right there. I think Tim Tebow, Tim Tebow gets a lot of slack. I mean, he wasn't that awful. At least he won games. I mean, it is what it is. I wasn't a Tebow hater, so... a lot of people were. Yeah, he had a funky throw. He had a funky release. But in his first season as a starter, he went to the playoffs and won a playoff game, So I think a lot of people sleep on him. Weapons X wrote, just found your channel a couple days ago. Nice channel. #fly, Eagles fly on the road to victory. Yo, I cannot wait for this season, man. Thank you for joining my channel, Weapon X. Shout out the real Weapon X, B. Dawkins. He's on my Mount Rushmore. If you haven't checked that out, I dropped a short last night, and I put him in my Mount Rushmore. If he's not in yours, I don't know what you're doing, bruh. Zay Edits wrote, what's up, Weapon D? Okay, you guys are mixing it up in the group chat. Love to see fellow Eagles talking to one another. I love it. I'm gonna check out your channel too, bro. You looks like Zay Edix messes with you, so I'm gonna check out your channel. Thank you for viewing mine as well. D wrote, Tim Tebow was a winner. No matter what, he found a way to get it done, just like Hurts. I agree with you, man. I really do. Hurts versus Baylor in college, very clutch comeback without CeeDee Lamb. You're right. He's shown in the past that he can lead a team to victories. He just has to put it all together this year. How many touchdowns passing, not rushing, how many passing touchdowns does Jalen Hurts need to throw for you guys to consider this a successful season? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. I would say 25 touchdowns. He threw for 16 last year. Several got called back. So if he throws for 25, he'll at least have the minimum 5 rushing touchdowns. So that's a total of 30 touchdowns on the year. And I think that's going to be success. That means all the wide receivers and our tight end Dallas Goedert are eating. D wrote 20 or more. Anthony Dwayne said at least 25. And I agree with you guys. He has to throw more. Regardless of the situation, as far as him running around, he's got to get rid of that ball a little bit earlier this year. I think we can all agree with that. No matter if you're a skeptic of Jalen Hurts' game or, you're very optimistic like me and others. I think he still has to get rid of that ball a little bit quicker. I think he has to be smart about his running. I think he's one of the smartest running quarterbacks I've seen in some time. I know we all remember Mike Vick, and obviously Mike Vick was just tremendous running the ball, but that boy couldn't slide. That's why he got hurt a lot. And that was my favorite player growing up. So, we have to, call a spade, and he's got to get rid of the ball. He's got to run smart. He's got to continue to slide. And I think he's going to have an amazing season. I think he's going to have over 25 passing touchdowns. Mark it here right now. This is August 11th. Bry of Eagles Real Talk said he's going to throw for 25 or more touchdowns. We're going to revisit this at the end of the year, trust me. And all my predictions for the season are coming up. I want to see some more preseason action. I want to see a little bit more before I get, too far into, predicting as far as how many touchdowns and, all the success that we could possibly have this year. We're going to get to that. Weapon X wrote, stats can be misleading. Want to see efficiency over anything else. I agree with you. Stats can be misleading because just like I was saying, he threw for a little more touchdowns than he was given credit for because they got called back. A couple of them were BS. A couple of them were straight bullshit. So I think this year he's going to capitalize on those. Obviously, touchdowns are going to get called back for every quarterback. That it just happens with these refs, especially in the NFL. But I think he's going to have an amazing year nonetheless. Zay wrote, I'm still upset about the 49ers game. You too? I'm trying to let it go. Zay, but I'm still upset too. That was week 2 of last year. We had the win if we didn't choke so much that game. And if I'm being honest, that game was on Nick Sirianni. It was his second game. I think he did a dumb trick play, if I'm not mistaken. That didn't work. I think we didn't run it a couple times in the red zone. So that was him taking his licks as a head coach. I think he learned from him and got better after that. I knew at that game I was disappointed. I agree with you, man. Simply New put 17 and 11 one. Not sure, man. That crap. Oh, okay. Yeah. I hear you. Can we talk about that one? I almost gave up on them during that one. We're not going to go back too much on last year, guys. Let's look forward. Because last year, I think it could have been a better year. I think we had the tools, but at the end of the day, it was Jalen's first year as a starter. It was Devontae Smith's rookie season. It was Nick Sirianni's rookie season. It was Gannon's first year as a defensive coordinator. So there was a lot of things, in life and in football. There are learning curves. You have to take, sometimes an L is actually a lesson. It's not really a loss because at the end of the day, you have to learn from everything. And I think we learned a lot from last year. We're running it back with the coaching staff. Gannon didn't get hired to be a head coach. I think he has the linebackers he needs to succeed this year. And I think ultimately we're going to learn from our mistakes last year. Weapon X wrote, under the radar player that intrigues you the most. Good question. That is a good question. I think it's Quez, to be totally honest with you, or Pascal. I think Zach is going to be one of our best assets in the red zone. I think that's one of his specialties. I believe I read he has 18 to 20 touchdowns in the red zone over the past 4 years. And that was on teams like, he had Carson Wentz last year. So, I think he had a couple touchdowns last year. But I think Pascal and Quez are intriguing me the most going into this year just because I think they're flying under the radar. So, yeah, with that said, we are approaching 1 hour. I really appreciate you guys joining me for Eagles Real Talk. Tomorrow is the preseason game. So, it looks like we're going to start some of our starters. Real quick, do you guys think that's a good idea? Should we give those guys reps? Or should we do more like last year and play them very limited, like maybe 1 or 2 series, get them out of there and focus more on health going into the year? Ultimately, I think that's what matters the most, if I'm being honest. Preseason, yeah, you get out there, you bang a little bit, you kind of get, the game speed back because obviously this is a violent game. This is a very violent game we love to watch, let's be honest here. And they need to get, a little bit acclimated to the speed of the game. But I don't want to play these guys, the starters, more than 1 series. 1 series is good for me. What about you guys? Zay wrote, very limited seems good for us. I would agree. Anthony said, I say defense Marcus Epps. Okay, I agree with you. Marcus Epps, he may be flying under the radar for some people, but I've been a Marcus Epps fan for a while now. So I think he's a hard-hitting guy. I think he has good instincts as far as flashing to the ball, and I don't think he's going to get beat deep often. And our division, we got some guys with some speed. On the Commanders, we got Scary Terry to deal. We got some guys with some speed. So I think if he can not get beat deep, I think he's going to have a great season. Weapon X said, I'd sit everyone, LOL. Joking, 1 series is fine. I agree with you, man. But I'm kind of not joking when I say we don't really have to play any of our starters too much. 1 series is good for me, and then get them out of there. Move on to the next game. Game 1 against the Lions is going to be here before everyone knows it. Right now it's August 11th. So we're basically 30 days away. The season is almost here. It's almost here. And I'm very excited. But that's going to do it for me, man. I appreciate you guys for jumping in. Got a lot of interaction today. Love to see it on a Thursday night. I hope you guys are excited. We're going to beat those Jets. Yeah, we're going to beat those Jets tomorrow probably. I think this is going to be an incredible season. I'm very excited for the preseason game tomorrow. I want to see these guys that are on the bubble, see if their bubble is going to burst or if they're going to make the 53-man. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. I'll definitely be back possibly with the live, but I'll definitely be posting something tomorrow, so look out for that. And until next time, you already know what it is. I'm Bri. This is Eagles Real Talk. Fly, Eagles, fly, and keep it real always. Love y'all. Keep it